The small town of Valley Creek. It could be anywhere, USA. Residents of Valley Creek have gathered for a public meeting. Its purpose? To discuss the town's sewage treatment. Calling the meeting to order is Mayor John Power, a well-intentioned man going through a midlife crisis. Tired of being a small-town nobody, he thinks construction of an advanced waste treatment plant will give him visibility to run for the Senate. That slick-looking guy with the briefcase is Lurch U. Schmerkel, consulting engineer for the Valley Creek project. Lurch is into greed. At age 6, he made a killing selling Girl Scout cookies by substituting inexpensive vanilla wafers for the chocolate mints. That pleasant-looking fellow's Otis Millsap. Otis owns a small restaurant and works 16 hours a day. Not too bright, but he's a good old boy who made good. Sitting next to Otis is EPA's dynamic project engineer, Elias Easyway. This is Elias' 124th public meeting. He spouts EPA rhetoric nonstop and has never been known to answer a question. Ronald Farright. Ronald converted to right-wing Americanism so fast it would make Archie Bunker's head spin. It happened as he walked under McDonald's golden arches and was struck in the head by an exploding neon light. Bess Eckenfelder, an engineer, has just moved to town. Having seen communities pay too much for unneeded treatment systems, she wants Valley Creek to look at some alternatives. Lucien Harkness LaRue, a real sweet guy, is president of the Society for Historical Markers, Buildings and Bones. A 1967 MIT graduate in architecture, Lucien's never had a chance to design anything. Bobby Fulcrum is a real estate developer, a go-getter. Bobby just received the Builder's Award for straight-line obsolescence. In the back, there's Jane Fondle, a real crusader. At age 5, she campaigned against coloring Easter chicks. That Jane is a realist. She learned a long time ago that you can't have your cake and eat it too. John Revolta, a temporary California transplant. John can make money without trying, and now he wants to make even more. His plan? To use EPA money to build a disco on the sewage treatment plant. The fellow with the broom is John D. Machiavelli, a runaway IBM vice president. He went to work one morning, took lunch, and was never seen there again. Now a happy homemaker, John also belongs to the Lions, the Rotary, and is president of the League of Women Voters. The meeting is about to begin. Let's look in. Well, we may learn everything we want to know about how not to conduct a public meeting.
Ladies and gentlemen, we need to get started. Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Now, we got a lot of things to discuss this evening. The sooner we get started, the sooner we can all get home to Monday night football game. Now, before I introduce our consulting engineer, Mr. Lurch U. Schmerkel, to all of y'all that hadn't been to our other unannounced public meetings, restrooms and drink machines are through the door to your right. I got to introduce Lurch to y'all. Lurch is with a firm of Money Grub Graft and Associates, and will be leading the discussion tonight on the possible alternatives for our sewage treatment plant. If there are no questions, I'll turn the meeting over to Lurch.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. John. Listen, I want to tell you all what a fine bunch of people you are. And, Mr. Sapp, you and your wife sure cook up some good food in that restaurant of yours.
That's Millsap, Lurch.
Well, whatever. Mr. Mayor, my company, Money Grub Graft and Associates, thought that you could use a little vacation after your upcoming re-election. So we're going to send you to Acapulco. And just to make sure you have a good time while you're down there, we're going to send some spending money along with you. I'll bet you can really get some public participation started with it.
Mr. Power, I know I've been out of the corporate world for a while. That looks like a payoff or a bribe to me. I don't know what they call it in the federal government.
I am not a crook. This is a cost overrun. It happens all the time in that federal work.
We believe in the free enterprise system and in the democratic process. I mean, there's no one here against that, is there?
Yeah.
Well, we at Money, Grub, Graft, and Associates believe that the new public participation requirements are based on the democratic process. Why, we're encouraging as much public participation as we can get. And the mayor here will be encouraging it more than anybody. We would like to see the public contribute as much as possible to this project. This country was founded on the free enterprise system, and that system has made us what we are today. Now I'm going to turn the meeting over to Mr. Elias Easyway from the EPA so that you can hear about all these insignificant alternatives before we select the only real alternative, advanced waste treatment.
Thank you, Lurch. We at EPA are totally and completely committed to public participation. We think everybody's participation ought to be public. Now, we realize that all you outsiders, you taxpayers, you general nitwits can't possibly understand all the forms, regulations, and amendments. Only a select few of us can, and even we don't always agree.
Oh, that's right. True.
Now, as soon as I've been briefed as to what this meeting's all about, then you'll have a full report on what we decide is the best alternative for you taxpayers to pay for. Your outlines and your summaries are currently under review by a staff of 16 people. Part of it's been completed, and part of it has not. No one knows who's responsible for what part, and I don't know where it is. But that's not unusual at EPA, and it's no concern of yours. You just worry about paying for it.
Mr. Mayor, I want to make my statement right now. Now, all this talk about alternatives is just a pinko plot. I say if you can't flush it, it ain't American. Flushing is as American as apple pie. Why, there's nothing more American than waste, and you gotta treat it right. Making treatment more advanced is just making it more American. Alternatives. To hell with them. There are no alternatives except the biggest, the brightest, the best and most expensive wastewater treatment plant in the world. A great sewer system means a great America. It's the backbone of this country.
I couldn't agree with you more, sir. And my company intends to build the most expensive, gold-plated treatment plant you've ever seen, because we believe in America and what it stands for.
What we need is a real monument. Now, some folks got the Taj Mahal, others the Grand Canyon, and others the Great Pyramid. We're going to have an advanced wastewater treatment plant that'll be the envy of everyone in the world made of.
Mr. Power, I don't want to be a dream destroyer, but what you're talking about is going to be a big tax increase. We need lots of things for our city, but a tax increase is not one of them. Now, there's got to be a regulation somewhere that talks about these alternatives.
You bet there is, young lady. There are regulations for everything.
Oh,
But that's not my area of expertise. I'm in sewage, or rather, I'm a sewage expert. But we've got regulations covering the erection of signs, tombstones, monuments, pit privies, 2-holers, 3-holers. Why, we've got regulations for things that don't even exist. Now, we've got a monument specialist, and I'll arrange to bring her to the next unannounced meeting. If the regulations haven't been promulgated, prioritized, and propagandized, then you'll have an interim report forthcoming as soon as 62 people sign off on it.
Gentlemen, we are here to discuss realistic alternatives, but it seems like you have chosen your alternative without any real public participation. We have got to discuss these alternatives rationally and objectively before we can decide among any of them.
Young lady, we're here to talk about all of these alternatives, no matter how stupid, no matter how dumb these alternatives might be. I mean, after all, isn't that what this meeting and public participation are all about? To allow the public to demonstrate how ignorant they can be even after they have all the facts. No one could possibly understand all this information, and certainly women can't. Now, I have a staff of over 75 engineers in my company. All of them have PhDs, and many of them are ex-EPA project engineers. These guys really know the ropes. But which among you could possibly understand a vast amount of information, plans, specifications, change orders, GICs, in order to make a decision? But we believe in the democratic process and support it wholeheartedly. Now, I'm handling that process, and we're certainly democratic in our fees while everybody contributes.
Mr. Schmerkel, I happen to be an engineer, and even though most of us here are not engineers, we are concerned taxpayers and property owners, and we want to play a big part in the decisions that are going to be made here tonight.
Well, you certainly will be paying a big part, young lady. Elias! Elias! Give him a nudge. Elias, would you please tell these people about all these insignificant alternatives before we select the only real alternative, advanced waste treatment?
Well, just as soon as I've been briefed as to what these alternatives are, and as soon as your summaries have been prepared in accordance with 40 CFR Part 35, Subdivision E, paragraphs 100 to 5,000, and 40 CFR Part 25, Subdivision E, paragraphs 6,500 to 15,000. And as soon as we distribute them in an untimely manner, then you'll have ample time to review them before construction begins. Now, I know some of you people are probably wondering, where does this brilliant man get all his authority? Well, I speak from the authority given me by the Federal Water Pollution Control Act of 1972, Public Law 92-500, as amended by the Clean Water Act of 1977, Public Law 95-217, Title 2, 33 U.S.C. 1281, paragraph parenthetical G, subparagraph parenthetical I.
John, I've got a question. Now, as you all know, me and Thelma Lou make our own beer down at our place. Now, I might be bragging a bit, but me and Thelma Lou have worked mighty hard to make our Millsaps Bavarian brew taste just right. We built our reputation on it. Now, if what y'all are about is going to change the taste of that beer, then I'm against it. Now, that'd be like taking the meat out of hamburger or the cream out of ice cream. Why, it'd make the beer taste peculiar.
Now, Otis,
Mighty peculiar.
Now, Otis, there aren't going to be any changes. You and Thelma Lou don't need to worry about your beer turning green.
May I please make a point? This meeting is absurd and premature. How can we possibly discuss alternatives without a report from the Society for Historical Markers, Buildings, and Bones? As all of you have to know, unless you've had your head stuck in some ungodly place, there are archaeological digs going on all around this area. Why, scientists have discovered skulls which may be either Ramapithecus or Neanderthal.
Well, I ain't ever heard of either one of them. Ain't neither one of them ever been to my restaurant. No, now, just as long as it don't change the taste of the beer, and it don't smell, and it don't cost no more money, then I guess that'd be all right. Now, I don't want it near my restaurant, though. It might make the potato salad turn sour.
You know, those skulls you're talking about give me a great idea. Why, I could use them in my disco. All you'd have to do is stick a light down them, and you can make them into lamps. I mean, that light shining out of those sockets and that mouth, out of sight.
How can you talk about taking an artifact, a piece of history, a part of this gigantic anthropological puzzle, and turn it into a piece of disco trash?
Easy. All you do is stick a pole down and you got it, sweetie. They don't call me disco daddy for nothing. Say, listen, that's the reason I'm here anyway. I can offer to make one of my discos built right into your sewage treatment plant. I mean, you add this feature to your treatment plant and you get an extra 10% added to your EPA grant. Now, 85% is a whole lot better than 75%, right?
Can you explain more about what you're talking about? None of the information that I have that I found in that condemned building has anything to do with this disco?
You bet, Mom. The disco actually replaces part of your treatment process, see? I mean, we call it, now you ready for this? The pulsating light and sound treatment process. We're going to pump the sewage up real high, see? And then it flows over this waterfall behind the bar. And then it oozes and flows under the dance floor. I mean, we're going to get down on that sewage. We're going to stomp it, zap it, and vibrate that stuff till it's pure as gold.
Oh,
absolutely.
I need a mite all. Why don't I just go back to civilization, to Manhattan, and let you people bury yourselves in your ignorance?
Oh, Lucian, you don't want to leave this place. Why, all your mama's folks is here, and all your daddy's folks, too. Why, we've got a real nice town here. Why, there's folks moving in from all over. Now, about that disco thing, now that interests me. You know, my daughter's been trying to get me to do that disco. Yeah, but I've been afraid that when I get down, you know, if I got down on that I couldn't get back up. And that'd be terrible.
I'd like to say something here. You know, when I first started building houses, they only had one bathroom. But times have really changed. And the houses I build today are really something. Why, the biggest selling feature we've got are bathrooms. And we have a super energy saving feature that we really emphasize. When you turn off the light switch, the toilet flushes. And when someone closes the front or back door, all the toilets flush in unison.
By God, that's the American way. Bobby, I'm with you. Let's get together and show these pinko foreigners what we're made of, what we got. Why, hell, I show how proud I am to be an American every day of my life. I flush my johns at least 12 times a day, and I'm raising my kids to be just like me. It's the American way, and it's God's way, and anybody who don't think so's a dirty rat.
What are you talking about? That is the most absurd equation I've ever heard. I have demonstrated against apathy and greed and bureaucratic mumbo-jumbo since I was 17 years old. Catch-22 is my Bible. Mr. Far-Right, to flush is not to live. And Mr. Revolta, to boogie is not to live. To live is to live. We're supposed to be talking about quality of life issues. That's at the heart of everything, and if you take that out, the rest dies.
Oh, why don't you flush it? Quality of life issues. Sounds like a commie slogan to me. You radical environmentalists don't fool me. You're just trying to ruin this country by throwing a scare into everybody about cancer, water pollution, bugs, ozone. I'm so damn tired of hearing about white mice, I can't stand it. Hell, it's getting to the point where you won't be able to eat anything because of all this commie crap about what might be dangerous to our health. Quality of life issues. Look, I've worked damn hard for the good things in life, and after 20 years of marriage, I can tell you about quality of life issues. Well, I've achieved the American dream. Oh, don't you think I'm not proud and grateful either? Why, hell, every year when I get my income tax refund, I just say, hell, Uncle Sam, you keep it, because I'm so grateful. It'll help make this country great and strong. Honey, you keep on trucking, and I'll keep on flushing.
I'm just as American as the next guy is. My concern is the location of that site, because we haven't received any maps or literature, and the map on there is not even marked. All I know is it's somewhere out there near the old plant. I'm concerned because as president of the PTA and the League of Women Voters, we want a playground for our children.
Well, now, we've got a staff of people working on those plans right now. You see, we at Money Grub Graft and Associates really practice what we call the golden rule. And the EPA has defined that rule. Right, Elias?
Right. According to the regulations, which took 5 long years to promulgate, that regulation appears in 40 CFR Part 39 under administrative guidelines. We've got to go, and we make the rules. And don't you forget it.
Right on, Elias. But say, listen, we're spending way too much time on all this heavy thinking and talking. People want to get away from all that. All this stuff about bad water, radioactive waste, dead whales, killer bees, carpooling, Texas oil blobs, it just scares people. They just, you know, it's bigger than all of us. You can't do anything about it anyway. That's why the disco life is the answer. Look out, Studio 54. Here comes Studio Sludge.
Have you considered the odors?
Oh, the smell won't be a problem. We're adding Old Spice to that stuff as it oozes into the disco. Why, you wouldn't believe what people will buy if you make it look good, smell good, and package it just right.
Now picture this. After the aerated sludge has provided the fountain and the light show in the disco, we're going to pump it out onto a field for a new crop we've been working on. It's a variation of Colombian gold.
Now, people like a change now and then. Gives them something to talk about.
Yeah, they're going to be talking all right. They won't know where they're coming or going. And what's more, they won't care.
Oh, gentlemen, we are here to discuss the cost effectiveness of these alternatives. That's what we're here for.
Young lady, we're talking about pure gold here, better than petrol dollars, and you can't get much more cost effective than that. Well, you ask those Arab countries.
Now, by God, there's something a man can believe in. Gold. I believe in the gold standard. Fort Knox was built on it.
I don't feel that this town needs advanced waste treatment, but we've got to have some answers.
You want some answers, young lady? Here they are. Here's the EPA answer sheet, and here's the EPA question sheet. You just pick whatever answer you want for any question you've got. Why, we've got answers for questions that have never even been asked. No one can say that we at EPA are not responsive to the needs of the public, or you pigs. Well, that's EPA jargon for public interest groups. We are public servants, here to serve you. Speaking of serving, isn't it about time that you serve us good bureaucrats something to eat?
Serving? This is the most self-serving group of people I've seen since I was a member of Congress. Nobody remembers what we're here for. We're supposed to be talking about protecting our nation's waterways and treating our waste in a responsible manner. We have 6% of the world's population, and yet we use over 50% of its resources.
Now, you listen to me, you four-eyed commie agitator. I know that God don't give nothing to nobody they don't deserve. We have over 50% of the world's natural resources because we deserve them. If those other countries don't have enough energy and water, I can't help it. I can't solve their problems. If they can't solve them, it's because they don't want to.
Again, we cannot discuss any of these poo-poo alternatives without a report from the anthropologist. Even if I have to personally throw my frail, beautiful body in front of those great big bulldozers, I will not allow construction to begin on this project until we find out just what is underneath this land.
Dirt under the land. My daddy didn't raise no eagle.
Look, Douglas Lucas Hospital, the Boy King.
I've been looking all over for you. We found a new city, part of the Aztec Empire. This map was upside down. The treatment plant's located right here next to Aztec City.
Now, what the hell does that have to do with anything? Aztecs ain't Americans. They're just a bunch of foreigners living on our land. I say let them stay buried. You can't stop progress.
I got free drink coupons here for the grand opening of Studio Sludge.
And as you can see, Valley Creek is no closer to finalizing its facility plan than when the meeting began. This mythical community could be any community, anywhere. The attitudes and concerns you have heard here have been expressed many times, just in different words. The new public participation regulations that were finalized in February of 1979 are intended to offer people, no matter what their backgrounds, an opportunity to question, criticize, or support the wastewater treatment facilities plan for their community. The Construction Grants Program is the largest public works program in the United States, and public involvement is a key factor in determining what course this program will take. The public participation can be an important building block in the planning process when used in a positive manner. Thank you for your attention, and we'll see you for the next meeting in Valley Creek.
even talking about bottling.
This is a Showtime original comedy presentation. The following Showtime entertainment special contains mature subject matter. Showtime recommends viewing only by mature audiences.